You know, I grew up here in the 70s on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And I come from Great Neck, Long Island. And then when I was 12, my parents moved back to the city. And because my brothers and sisters left. And I smoked a lot of pot on the Upper West Side. And kids did dope on the Upper West Side. Like, you know, I had a friend, he would buy tenths of real heroin by the tenth of a gram, like a pure heroin. We'd smoke it and snort it a couple times. And a couple of my friends got kind of strung out, but I never did. You know, I got into freebasing when you were like I used, you know, real freebasing. I'd walk around with a Bernzomatic torch in a bag, a torch this big and shit, like when like Richard Pryor blew himself up. But I didn't get strung out. Although all of my boys from the West Side like did, and I came to LA to be an actor, and I sort of smoked a little pot and was like, I'm gonna be a real person. You know what I mean? I'm gonna like get my shit together, and I want to like you know, I was a pot dealer and I'm going to like be legit, but I'll smoke a little weed. And then I was legit for a while and I was an actor and I got married and I just was sort of like, you know, trying to do this real thing and I kept getting parts and things were good and it would have happened if I stuck with it, but I think some part of me was always just, you know, a troublemaker, and I met a girl who was, you know, kind of chipping, as we like to say in our trade. And I started smoking heroin with her when I was about 25 in 1987. And by 1989, I was strung out. And then I got really strung out, started shooting dope together. And then this weird thing happened. And I had a friend who sort of looked out for me and was a partner. I was always a writer. And I got successful. I wrote this movie about the Jamaican bobsled team and started making a lot of money. And that was a big problem with the combination of like a lot of money and heroin. And I had a wife who used with me, and you know we just had a lot of we were able to keep it going somehow. So we used for like 20 years, you know what I mean. And then in 2007, I did a bad shot, got a heart valve infection, had to have open heart surgery, and that's what it took to like get me straightened out. And I came out of the hospital on 180 milligrams of methadone. When I met these dudes, I was just like coming down on methadone. And, you know, we were in this meeting and TJ just has great stories about me, like, you know, nodding out as the leader of the meeting, as the secretary.